Hey everybody, welcome back to Conversations in Pop Culture, and we are back in the saddle once again for another season. And I have with me LFC fighter, pro wrestler, cosplayer, and gamer Bella Madisyn. So welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm here.
Yeah.
As Elastic
I am
Girl.
super excited because I reached out to you, I think either on Thursday or Friday. And then, obviously I just had Bella Rockefeller on. And then I've had a few other people on from LFC, and I love LFC. And you've been involved in a lot of different stuff we're going to talk about. But I do want to talk about LFC first because that's what I
Okay.
knew you from. And I love LFC. I love Tommy Bell. And so how did you get involved with them? Because they are a very cool company right now.
I originally found them because I saw my friend Shelby Paris was a part of them. And I think I had reached out, and then eventually I kind of fell off a little bit because I was going through a lot. And then eventually they reached out to me again and asked if I was interested. And it was 2021. And from then on, I was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to. And from then on, it's been one of those. I started promoting very early. And then I got to make my debut at Booty Camp 35 in October of 2021 in Vegas, which was very fun. It was it was a lot, but it was fun. I had a blast. It was so different. But it was one of those surreal experiences, oh my God, I can't believe we're actually doing this. It was so much fun.
Yeah, so let's even talk about that fight because I think that fight was against Bella Rockefeller. And she was
that match was with Bella. Battle of the Bellas.
And I think the T got dropped from your name around that time too.
After that match, eventually the T got dropped because everybody thought it meant something else, and it wasn't. Guys, I am not a trans girl. I'm all woman. Okay, so the T was for my first legal name. Okay, just so everybody knows, I'm not too good to be true or whatever, and I love trans as well, but no, I'm not that, and I'm addressing that right now. I have a coochie. Sorry. And I had kids out of that coochie. Sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, hey, they all want to know, so I'm announcing it right here live that yes, the T was for my legal first name, guys. Not because it was, otherwise, if I was trans, I would put that out there. I would not lie about that. You know what I mean? I would not hide that. I would be very open with something like that if that was the decision I decided to go, but I'm not. So there we go. It's clear.
But I like the fact that it was dropped because I thought it was somewhat of a diss to Bella Rockefeller. All jokingly, I'm joking, everybody, but I like how you became a Bella, and we're still working on Tommy, guys. We're still working on Tommy Bell. All we have to do is add the A to his last name, and he's in.
Yeah, he is. We were trying to add Tommy Bella, but we wanted to play some pranks on him, but I don't think we were allowed yet. So the CEO told us no. He's like, no, not this time. I was like, okay, we gotta listen to the boss.
It's coming, guys. It's coming eventually. But anyway, going back to this fight, what I liked about this fight is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, that I think it went 3 rounds, and I think there was some that was built up to it. Where I know Bella Rockefeller did a song, and then you did a song, and then you took her song, and you might have stole some of her gimmick, or she might have stole some of yours, and it felt like it was WWF, WWE like going into it.
Well, what happened was I was gonna use a song. And it just so happened, I didn't know she was thinking of her doing her own song. I found out after I submitted mine to Sean. And then she's like, oh, so you're doing, girl, I was not copying. I already had that. I've been in music for a long, we've both been in music for a long time. It's just funny. I did more of a death metal. She did more of a rap too. But no, I didn't steal a gimmick. No, I didn't. But they made that was a big thing for that fight because me and her, there was so much. We built up so much towards that fight too. I loved working with her. It was so much fun.
Yeah, no, I like the fight a lot too, and I enjoyed that fight. I enjoyed a lot of LFC because I just think it's brilliant. I think it's brilliant.
I think so too.
I think people are a little bit intimidated by it, to be honest, because they hear the word lingerie fighting championship. And
Yes, I
I
agree.
think you gotta get past the L, I feel. And,
Right,
and you gotta actually look at what it is. You gotta look at what type of company it is, because it's a media company first and foremost, versus a
right.
wrestling company.
And we
WWE,
have to stand out and be different.
yes. And what I was gonna say is that WWE is not a wrestling company. They are a media company. You know,
Right,
AEW is more of a wrestling company at the moment.
right,
And so it's very interesting because a lot of stuff gets done in LFC that's not in the ring. There's a lot of
right.
reality show stuff. There's a lot of photo shoot stuff. There's a lot of promo stuff going on. There's a lot of, podcasts that I may or may not at some point be on that podcast, which will be fun.
It's
I'll,
fun.
I'll be in a unique club. I think there's like maybe like 6 people in that club. And I'll be the 7th member. All jokes aside, but what is that like for you? Because you had another fight as well against Sheena Bathory, I want to say is how you say her name. And
Yeah.
but what is that like for you? Because it is a very cool company to be a part of. That it's beyond just what you do in the ring.
Um, it's a lot of fun because like Sean gives us pretty much a platform to be able to express ourselves as we please, as long as it's within the guidelines that we have to be in. But he really gives us the guidelines to be able to put together our own things and our characters and things like that. I know we have coming up, like we'll probably get more character. We're going to get more into the character development, more training. Some of us, like I know me and Sheena both train outside of that too, because we both, I pro wrestling and I would like to work in that field, so I have to train outside as well. But like he gives us a really good platform to be on to showcase our talents in every way we can, like even with acting and being funny. Like the reality shows are hilarious. We can, like me and the coach have an issue, like one of the coaches do. Like he just kind of gives you that leadway to just be you, and a lot of us are like goofy as hell. Like we are like very goofy. A lot of us, like, yeah, even when he puts out our bloopers of things that we were doing, like the shit is hilarious because like, yeah, it's just so much fun. I mean, we know with the shows and stuff, we have to get serious and things like that. But for the most part, he makes it it's not a high stress type of environment. So he wants you to relax and have fun, but he still wants he expects you to put on a good show too. But he makes it easy to just be relaxed and just be able to be yourself, which I love that. And he loves us for who we are. He picked us for who we are. Like, even if nobody else looked at me at one point in time, Sean definitely made sure. He was like, yes, I see it in her. I'm picking her. And now, like, due to Sean, I feel like the whole world is finally seeing, like, oh, wow. Like, in
Yeah.
the wrestling field, that is like a big thing. Because like at first it was just like, well, even with that, I really wasn't pursuing wrestling or fighting. But now it's just like, I don't know, like Sean believes in us, and like I feel like
Let's talk about
he
that.
tries to go that extra mile to make sure he can put us on more platforms or make everything in certain ways happen for us. So, I really like that. He really cares about
Yeah,
things like
let's
that.
dive into that a little bit too, because one of the things that I said it to Bella Rockefeller. I've obviously had Shelby on. I've had Jen Thomas on. I've had a bunch of other people on who have come in and out of LFC from like 2-3 years ago on my show. And so one of the things that I realized very early on is that it is a jumping off point where LFC does one or two things. You either jump into it. So Autumn Ivy, who's coming, and I have known Autumn for a while, and I've known her for a while. She's now jumping into LFC, but a lot of people have been in LFC and then they jump off, or they don't jump off, but they go into something else. And
Right,
it's a very cool platform because it reaches a very different audience, but it
right,
also reaches a similar audience in pro wrestling, in acting, in podcast stuff, whether you're building a business. I mean, obviously, session wrestling is huge right now. And so, what is
right.
it like for you? Because in many ways, it opens up doors and opportunities. And I think that's something that obviously WWE does something very similar for a lot of people. And so, what is that like for you? Because It
What,
also,
like for the session wrestling or the regular?
oh, just opening up opportunities, because that's what LFC really does for so many people.
Right. Pretty much, because it really, especially since I'm going into, and I actually train with pro wrestlers and things. My trainer trains a lot of contracted people already. It makes it so when you go into platforms, people kind of take you seriously. I mean, if you don't look at the lingerie part and you actually see what we do, a lot of people are like, "Oh wow, you guys actually do real moves." Like the last fight, me and Sheena did a lot of pro wrestling stuff. We did tons. We wanted to wow everybody. We did tons of pro wrestling things. So even with that, when I'm looking at other companies or maybe another show and the bookers want to look at my stuff, it's easier to show them that. And then they take you more seriously or tell you what you could work on. Like my trainer is really good at, okay, we're going to practice this and we're going to nail it till we get this, or I'm going to have you guys do this. Like he's very good like at watching you, make sure your footwork is right, make sure you're not doing anything carelessly. Like it just makes them look at you in a different light because they see what you can do, but then it's like they can critique it. But then when you go to other platforms, it can push you out there more because they're like, okay, she gets the camera presence, she can act her character. On top of that, we see she can do some of these moves, so it's easier. That's how I ended up getting the battle royal, because they saw that I did wrestling in my last match with Sheena, so I showed it, and AJ Princess actually brought me on at the Sausage Castle and let me do the battle royal over there. So, and then I got to lift a guy. That was kind of fun because we were trying to get each other out the ring. So, I mean, and then from there on, there's other wrestlers who will reach out to me and they like, okay, your look is good, we love that, your personality is good. Like, only thing I'm really working on is like just making sure I have all my footwork right and things of that nature, which my coach does really good at. He's amazing. His name is Demos. He does really good with that, just to make sure we're not injuring ourselves or overdoing it or slow. Like our coaches, even when we're at LFC, will tell us, guys, slow down. You don't have to rush it. Like it definitely puts you on a lot of different platforms. I get a lot of respect from a lot of different wrestling. Every time I walk in a wrestling thing, everyone's like, oh my God, you look like a wrestler. At first I was like, what does a wrestler look like? They're like, yeah, we're glamorous. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I was thinking a wrestler would be like, oh, okay, guys, you know, maybe for the guys. But they would always say that every time I walk in somewhere, and these are people who have worked with WWE, AEW, like, you look like a wrestler. Like, oh, okay. Like, okay, yeah, I need to make sure my skills critique so I can make sure I can do this. Like, I really want to go out there and not just be a pretty face. I want to go out there and show my skill, show the badassness behind it. I'm the villain. I'm a bad guy. I want to cheat and do slight moves and get somebody out and show my strength. Like, I'm one of those that like to pick people up. I want to show my strength. I'm a little person, but I like to surprise people. So it gives me that platform to do that because Sean's like, okay, go ahead, go do it. Like, go do it, Bella. Go have a ball. I'm like,
So even to just talk about that too, because obviously, I mean, you're now being taken seriously in other wrestling promotions, because I've seen the Sausage Castle match and I enjoyed that, and you coming out and obviously eliminating, I think, one or two, maybe even like four people. I forget how many people you took out.
I only took out one, and he pulled me out too. And then I bullied him after it. Me and him were fighting after. At the end, I went up and tried to slap on him and things like that, and then I walked off. I was being a rebel princess because he pulled me down, and I was fighting another girl. But yeah.
But one of the things that I think a lot of people can take from you in this circumstance, and it goes to LFC, it goes also to that match, is the idea of being a professional. I have a friend who said to me, and it was one of the highest compliments he ever paid me. He said, there's a lot of people, and it was a comic book person. He said, there's a lot of people in comics, but there are very few professionals. And I think it's a real skill when you understand how to be a professional in any industry. It's not just in one industry, but being a professional means you show up on time. It means you know how to conduct yourself. It means that you know what you're supposed to do, and you know you're not treating it like a hobby. And I think it's a very, very important thing, because sometimes people do not understand that. And
they don't take it as seriously, and then wonder why things don't be everything I do, I try to make sure I'm on time. I train. I do what I'm supposed to do. They hire me for a job. That's what I'm there for. I'm not there to worry about my feelings, because a lot of times they do definitely make sure we're good. On LFC, even a lot of the places that I have worked for, all of them make sure I'm good. I've never really had, but then again, I am still new, but I know LFC always takes care of me. Sausage Castle, they were really good to me. Mike is the owner over there as well. He made sure I was good. Like, my trainers make sure I'm good. Like, even when I go to WXW, because I thought about doing a couple shows with them as well. I'm actually going out with one of the wrestlers on the 5th as his manager. His name is Ramos. And we both wear the bandana. So, like, I'm going out as his manager. But even with that, like, I just want to put forth a presence that I am professional. You can rely on me, and I will give my 110%. Even if I have to help break down stuff when we go there, they teach us etiquette as wrestlers. Like, you go before and you stay after, so you can help with everything if you need to. And like, yeah, of course, like, we all want to get up there as fast as possible. So I try to present myself, no matter what part of entertainment, no matter what part I was in, like, I'm always gonna conduct professionally. Whether it's adult, whether it's video games, whether it's wrestling, whether it's like my office, like, that's just how it has to be. Otherwise, no one's going to take me seriously if I'm always letting them down and flaking or not prepared or show up drunk. Like, like, I can't. Yeah.
There's a saying in which that, it is one of the things is that there's been plenty of people in comics and in entertainment. And, I had a friend of mine, DJ Croft, he's a cosplayer. He's now doing guest appearances at cons. And I said something and he was laughing. And I said, but you have to realize that you're getting paid. And even after you're done for the day and you're going and sitting in the bar, you're still on the clock. You get off the clock when you leave the con on Sunday. The second you arrive on Friday, and whenever you check in and pick up your badge, or you walk into that hotel or that con for the first time, you're on the clock till you get home or you're driving or you're on a flight back home.
Right.
And, you're not getting paid a good amount of money for 24 hours. You're getting paid for 48, maybe 56 hours.
Right.
And there's been plenty of guests who have ruined their career because they say, cool, we're done for the day. Then they get drunk and then they make an offensive comment, or they make a stupid comment, or they get hammered and then something happens and there you go. And then, they're speaking to a bunch of guests who just paid and they're treating them like shit. It happens all the time. And
you have to be careful, because that follows you and that haunts you. Like, you always have to remember, in our limelight, you, me, LFC girls, cosplayers, gamers, we're on a platform, we're a personality. You have to be that personality. You cannot, like, do things that are not like, I mean, you just can't start a fight. You can't just be rude. You can't just be nasty. You can't, like, they look at you a different way once you're on there. Like, during that, like, even if you're having a bad day of life, you better pretend that everything's fine, because that's what they're paying you for. And then you could cry about it later. I mean, that's just how it is.
There's a great thing with John Cena where John Cena was in a store and somebody was harassing him. And I think John Cena, this was when he was dating Nikki Bella. And like, he was harassing him and John Cena just was very quiet. Said, well, that's how you feel. And the guy wouldn't stop. But I think a bunch of it was filmed and John Cena handled the situation perfectly. There was no issue. Nobody criticized John Cena on it. But it was crystal clear that, if he snapped at a fan, all of a sudden that's the thing that gets played all over Twitter, that 45 seconds. And then everybody's like, oh, CWE is a bad company. And that's what I think a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah, it makes it look bad for your company too when you do something crazy. That's even if we go out and get plastered. Like, we just look like, I just don't want, like, for me, like, and then even with that, even if I'm drinking and I know I have something, I make sure I know my limit, just maybe 1, 2. And then after that, it's time to go home, go to sleep. So I'll be ready for the next day, because I don't feel like me being irresponsible helps. So if I'm going to decide to do that, I need to be able to get my ass up and go and do my job as well. Otherwise, like, I don't need to be doing it, and I need to take myself home and go to sleep and rest instead. Simple as that. And as we're representing that, we have to realize even when people take us place, we just have to represent ourselves well, because that looks bad on all of us. Like if we're getting certain type of treatment to go to clubs or anything, like we can't be out there being crazy just because, like, we just have to be careful because everybody looks at us as that. And then whoever the hookup was that got us that, it makes them look bad too. And we don't want that. Like, we don't want any of that. We gotta, I try to be very careful about stuff like that.
It's complicated, and I don't think a lot of people understand it. And also, it only takes one. But obviously, backing out of LFC and talking about some other stuff you do, because you're in a lot of different areas. and then the next area I want to talk about is that you do a lot of modeling as well.
Yes.
And so, obviously you do a bunch of different photo shoots. And for those who don't know, when you're an independent contractor, unless you have a pretty solid independent contractor gig, having a lot of gigs, having a lot of different modeling gigs, doing the LFC stuff, some other stuff that you do, which we're going to talk about, obviously it helps to pay a lot of bills, or it becomes supplemental income later on. So I don't think people fully understand, and I'm a big finance guy, and so I love the word passive income. I love the word investor income. And so what is this like? Because it does either supplement or it's an additional income stream for you.
For all the modeling, it can be additional income, but even with that, it's a lot of work too sometimes. A lot of the photo shoots are tiring. Sometimes the content shoots are very fun, but tiring. And then even with that, even if you're doing like content stuff like OnlyFans, like you build that content up and you do really good on it, but it's still like, there's a lot of work that goes into it. There's a lot of building up that goes into it. A lot of people usually are like, oh, that's fast money. You don't understand how much you have to be out there, because the more awareness, which people don't understand, this is how I've always been, because I also have a business too. I've had a business since 2011. And I have my own office and I also have contracts with other offices. What people don't understand, even when nobody knows you, you have to make that hype about yourself. The more hype that you have about yourself out there, the more people want to get to know you, want to know more about you, want to put you in their set. Once they start seeing all that, like, oh my God, who is this girl? She's always that's what was LFC. Their fans wanted to see me because it was always, she's always calling out the champion, or she's always doing this. Like, that's what got me in that thing so fast, and everybody wanted to see me because I was always calling somebody out. I was always making my face, oh, you're gonna know who I am. Like, hi, I'm here and I'm coming after your champion. I'm taking that belt. I don't care what you say. Same thing with modeling. The more that I do those little sexy poses and things, like, it makes people like, oh wow, she has a nice shape. She has a nice personality. That was, someone said that, oh my God, you just jump off the screen. I need you in my production. Like, someone just recently said that to me. Like, I was like, oh, but I'm not as muscular. Well, they're like, but you're toned. That's enough. And you got that curvy body and your personality and you act. And you can tell when your energy, everybody's been telling me, I can feel your vibe from the way you take your pictures. When you do your videos, your energy is so high that we can tell, I need you on my set now. Like, can I work with you, please? Like, it's like, oh wow, like you guys grasp all that. Like, but I've been getting a lot of stuff like that. And it's like, it is good. It can be really good income. It's just like sometimes with the wrestling stuff, like even for session girls is a really good income as well. It's just me, because I'm doing pro wrestling. I'm just very careful about doing competitive stuff and things like that, because I don't want to hurt myself in the process of trying to do that. Because I want a contract. Of course, I want a big contract. So that's going to make me happy. So for me, I just feel like I'll do sessions and I take them. But I'm more of like, I'll be like, oh yeah, I don't do competitive wrestling, because all that, I'd rather stay for the ring and give my all in that and then go from there, because I want to preserve myself for my wrestling fans inside of the ring. So it is good income. It can't, especially if you're working a lot.
You just mentioned something super interesting, and I have a business too. I buy and sell comic books on eBay. And so I don't have any hype, but my books are what are known as bad girl books. So when you see it, it invokes emotion and people want to buy it. So the book
Right.
itself. And I think it's a real skill when you understand what hypes what sells, and how you draw attention to it. And
Yes.
so it's so important that I think people don't understand how to do that. And there's also good attention and bad attention. You know,
Right. Yeah, you have to be very careful how you do it. But it's all about marketing and branding yourself. You have to, if you want, you have to, people don't also understand sometimes to make money, you have to invest in yourself. If you don't invest in yourself initially, what is going to make someone else want to invest in you, or think of you as this person they should invest in and put their money into, or into your product? Like, sometimes it starts with us. We have to be the ones to be like, it's not one of those things I have never been one of those that expects handouts. Like, if it's something that I want, I'm going to work towards that. I'm going to build myself up the way that I need to. And then from there on, everybody can see it from there. It automatically just starts falling in line because they see I make a big deal about myself. So it's like, oh, wow, she's doing this and making a big deal about herself. That's how it's so easy when it's time to get sponsors and things like that. It's not that hard because they see I put a lot into my product. So with that, it makes it a little bit easy. Even when I did my fashion line, I made that shit look good in my body. So when they saw my models, it's like, oh, wow, yeah, I want to look like that. I want that outfit because it looks like that on her. Like, that's how you have to get them. People buy off of with, oh, wow, that looks good on you. Or they invest in you because, oh, my God, I want to be part of that team. Like, even a trainer not long ago, you're on a good platform. I like where you're going. I want to train you because I want part of that. Just recently, like I said, it all shows. Like, it comes. It just takes time. You have to put into yourself. And even when no one else is believing in you, you still have to do that, and it keeps showing that you are this, regardless of what it looks like.
Yeah, it's complicated. And look, I know what I'm worth. I know what I'm worth, in which that I had a sponsor a little while ago, and I returned them over 5 figures on less than, basically, they paid me 3.
Oh, wow, yeah.
They paid me less than $1,000, and I returned them over 5 figures. So I know exactly what I'm worth, yet everybody's questioning me, and I'm like, but you don't get that I understood that the viewership wasn't there, but it was the right client was there.
Right.
And so, but right now I'm not looking for any sponsors because I got a lot of other things going on, and it's also a very turbulent time right now in the entire
yeah, it is.
culture world. And honestly, I would much rather just chill out and just do some solid interview work, and then raise up my rates when things get better.
Right, I agree. I understand.
In an economy that's healthier, it's easier for sponsors to get a sponsorship. But I'm not worrying about it because it'll all work out in the end. It'll all work out in the end.
Yes, it always does.
A bunch of these people who are my competitors, I don't think they're going to make it. And their overhead is so much higher than mine. And I know that because I just see it. But I digress. But I absolutely agree that you have to invest, and you also have to level up your skill set at the same time. It's not just how something appears anymore. It's also how you're thinking, where your idea is going. I've been doing this for 10 years, and I've been staying around because obviously I prep up when I do an interview. I know plenty of people who don't, and you could tell who's prepping up and who knows who they're interviewing and who doesn't. So super, super interesting on that point, and I couldn't agree more. And then the other thing that's sort of modeling but influencing is you being part of the Super Multiverse. And I'm talking a lot of toys. Oh
my God. That was so fun. Super Multiverse is so fun. Even I got to do, like, I was so happy because they actually let me review God of War. Which they just put that out today. It's a lot of fun. Like, that one was a lot different than what I'm used to, but how could you not like a job where you can sit there and get paid to review toys and games? Like, come on now. Like, who doesn't like that? I mean, even it was funny because I was showing off, me and Galvatron were showing off our curves. They're like, Bella and Galvatron, Galvatron, you like how this looks? This is our curves, guys. Watch it. I love the Galvatron toy.
So what is that like? Because I find it to be a very interesting company, and they followed me, and then I followed them back on Instagram. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And I know Sarah J's in there, and I know a few other people are involved in that. And what is that like? Because it's an interesting toy review, and it's definitely something different. It's definitely sexier, for lack of a better word. I think is the most polite way I could say that without being too crude here.
I mean, what's not sexy about pretty girls playing with toys with like pretty much a lingerie? Like, come on, like, and then because our action figures, gamers, our nerds, they love things like that. They love they like the sexy stuff. They like the fact that we know about that and we're talking about it, and then we're actually sitting there playing. Like, I like toys. I'm not even gonna lie. It actually, to me, was like, ooh, I get to play with toys again. Okay, I get to sit here and, like, you would think that is like a job that you would think you would never get to do. It's like, oh wow, I get to sit here and get paid to play with toys, and it's the easiest thing ever. Like, you just make sure your lighting's good, you're following the directions, describing the toy, showing it off to them, and pretty much, oh guys, look at my toy, he's so cute, isn't he? Like, or even like that, and then you still got to kind of flirt with the camera too. So, oh, look at our curves are like this. You guys like that too? Like, and I'm talkative anyway, so it kind of works out. Nap all the time.
No, because I think it's interesting, and I think it's actually very cool, and I think it's a really cool marketing ploy. Because let's be realistic, if I want to watch a toy review or even see what a toy looks like, I mean, there's legitly probably 10,000 YouTube channels that do that. And so at what point do I go to which one, right? And
right.
I mean, I'm going to call it what it is, in which that most toy reviews are the exact same thing with a slightly different angle. You either like the way somebody talks, you like the way they handle something. They're either really quick with it, or they're spot on, or they're going to give you saying this toy is worth $20, not 40. You might want to avoid. Or you could look at a bunch of pretty women playing with toys and be like, they gave a pretty good review and it was entertaining, and here we go. Or you're a fan of somebody. And that's another thing too, is that people say, why did you go to that restaurant? Well, I like that restaurant and I like that pizza place versus this pizza place. So to me, I just think it's brilliant. I really do. But that's just my thought on it, and I'm just pissed that I didn't think of it first.
I know. It's all good.
There's like 4 or 5 things. I'm like, man, this is the simplest thing ever, and god damn it, it's so brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it just gives different angles for things, and everybody, like, for me, I'm so open-minded, so I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm good with that. Like, I'll do that. That's fine. Like, why not? Like, life is supposed to be fun. Why not have fun, right? Like,
yeah, no, I agree. I think that it's just brilliant, and I think it's super smart. And then obviously, who doesn't want to play with toys? I mean, it's fun. It's all I gotta say on that point. But I do also, though, want to get into, I guess, a little more adult stuff with you too, because I know you're slightly in that realm, and Session Girls is one of those. That's run by Jen Thomas, and
yes.
I love the concept of Session Girls for a reason that I've said this before. I'm an investor. I love media companies. The best thing that's ever happened was the introduction of streaming in 1995, and then
I agree.
Netflix. And I can go through the whole history if somebody would like me to, but that's a different video. For a whole different day. But what is that like? Because where I was going with this, is that I believe that the 3 things that are dictating media collectively is big libraries, on demand, and customization. And Session Girls is very much a customization position for a lot of reasons, because I think it offers 2 major things: the ability for custom wrestling matches to some degree, as well as having a session, which means you, the client, control it. And that's a big advantage, because that gives me a lot of control on what I want. And it also gives me personalization. And so what is that like for you? Because that fills a niche that I don't think existed 10 years ago in wrestling. And that concept and what people want, because we are very much, I think, due to COVID, in tune with ourselves a lot more.
Right.
So what is that like for you, being even part of it, or even picking it up part-time, or whenever you want one? or want to do one?
With session girls, when I do actually do sessions, they can be really fun because a lot of guys, they just like to be, it's pretty much kind of like wrestling and domination because they pretty much want to be bullied. Like, so like, or you'll have guys that want to be lifted and carried. It's kind of different. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, you guys really want me to just beat you up? Like, really? Like, but like, I like the shit talk. So, for instance, I had a session with one. He wanted to do lip and carry, and we did a couple wrestling moves. So every time, so I would like push him and be like, okay, so why aren't you wrestling? Come on, get up. Stop being a little pussy. Get up. Come on, let's go. Get up. So every time I did, I would trip him and make him fall or pick him up. There was one time I held him against the wall and act like I was like grinding him. I was like, oh, this is the way you like to be when I have you on the wall, right? Because you're weak. And he was like, oh, he's turning bright red. It was so funny. But like they love that stuff. And it is fun. It's very tiring because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Like, you think wrestling's a lot of work? That's a lot of work too, because you're actually physically like using your strength and things like that. So I mean, it's really cool. Like, I like being degrading. I think that's fun. I'm kind of a sadistic. So, and I am kind of a dom. So, of course, even with that, like it's adult entertainment. I've done adult entertainment. I used to be a porn star. So that's not that kind of, oh, I get to beat somebody up just to, oh, I can put you on my leash. Oh, I can put this in your mouth. Like, come on now. Like, if I was mad at my boyfriend, guess who I get to take it out on? That's bad. But I'm sorry. It's so crazy, the fact that you can just lift them up, knowing you have that power. And it gives so much, like, if I was mad, I'm not going to be mad now because I just beat this poor guy up because I was upset, and it's okay. No one's going to look at me crazy because he wanted me to do it and he paid me to do it. Good way to take out anger. That's probably a lot.
I
said too much.
I'm just pleading the fifth. I'm just pleading the fifth.
Yeah.
Plead the fifth.
Kind of wild. Like, yeah. I'm never getting married, guys. I'm kidding. My husband will marry me because look, I'm gonna show you my husband. He loves me anyways, either way, so it doesn't matter. Right, Michael? Mwah. He loves me either way, so it doesn't matter. That's all that matters. Okay, that's enough.
So, and even going further into it, I mean, it's a great platform. And obviously, one of the things that I explain to people is that, and I mentioned before, is that when you're an independent contractor, or even if you have a business or you could do supplemental work in addition, you know, I run an eBay business, as I stated before. That is not my job. That is on top of a 9-to-5 job. So it gives me a lot of flexibility to do what I want to do, which is invest. And so that job for me in my eBay business is a lot of fun. I do not want it to be my full-time job because it ebbs and it flows. But obviously, if you have a lot of different jobs and gigs that you're doing, and all of a sudden, you know, for lack of a better word, you can't make rent, or you can't pay your mortgage, you could pick up a session and it might save your ass, for lack of a better word. And I think this is what a lot of people in the comic book world don't understand. And this is why I think it's so relevant, because when we look at entertainment, you have to make sure, unless you have a contract, that you have enough gigs that can hold you over. God forbid, there's just a rough. And I think it's so important that this is just a really good example of that. But I digress right there. But obviously, I mean, you do a lot of other stuff too. I mean, obviously,
you have to in this world these days. There's so much to do. So yeah, and eventually, like I said, my all in out after everything is said and done. Like, I have to finish up my bachelor's so I can do that MD because I want to be a dermatologist. So yeah, so I'm doing everything I can now, just have all the fun, and then eventually it's crackdown time one day. And yes, there always has to be an ultimate goal at the end of the day. You work hard for a reason, not just to blow money. You have to work hard for whatever goals you have to set you up for later on. And that's usually what it's about. It's more about my future and my kids' future.
Really good point that you brought up. So I am heavily investing. I max out my 401k to the best of my ability. You know, I contribute 10% of my income to my 401k. And the reason why is I understand that there's going to get a point, whether it's 55, 65, I don't know how long I'm going to be working for, but I also have a business that I invest in the stock market because I want to get to the point where I don't have to work if I don't want to. I want to. I like it. I like what I'm doing. Or maybe, you know, I could become an angel investor, or I could buy a board seat on a publicly traded company. But the idea is a plan here. And that's why, you know, I just turned 30 a little while ago. You know, last week, you know, on the 10th, January 10th, about 6 days ago, I turned 30. So I'm right now trying to essentially join the Millionaires Club in the next 5 years. And just which is doable. I'm a little far off, but I'm not that far off.
Right.
But
investing is easy. It's a little bit easier with that too, especially once you learn. Because another one that I've been learning, I want to learn crypto a little bit more, but I've actually dabbled a little bit into Forex and things like that. Like I want to learn that deeper and things of that nature. And I have some stocks and things like that. So I've started things of that nature as well. Of course, I don't always talk about them, but like
the point is that when you're in a job that is quote unquote temporary, and every job is temporary because technically,
yes, it is. I agree.
Point, but if you have a 9-to-5 job, and you know, we'll pick a profession. If you're a school teacher, the likelihood of you being fired on a random Monday is probably a lot less. The likelihood of me being fired from my job on a random Monday is not that high. It could happen. I'm not saying I don't want to jinx myself, but if I started doing a bad job, it would be expected. But if you are an independent contractor, a contract job could end and then you're out. And so that's why you have to always be planning. I think it's a real skill. And that's why doing all the modeling and section wrestling and LFC and other things and running your business on the side and all that stuff and being on a set for a movie or a television show or a music video, all that stuff adds up. And then all of a sudden, God forbid, one thing falls off, you might be okay. And I think it's really important. And I'm a big investor advocate because you need to plan for the future.
I agree.
But I digress. Enough of me preaching. And then obviously you're in a bunch of other stuff, and obviously I looked at a bunch of stuff that you've done. So
I do a lot. I don't understand how I sleep sometimes.
And then obviously I do want to address the cosplay element of you because you are an incredible right now. So
she's the incredible.
and so I like the way you look as an incredible. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you. It fits me well. It really does. It's kind of a nice little. It fits my shape. Of course, you have to be a sexy cosplay. You know that. I mean, I definitely have the body for it.
There's a million things I could say, and my Facebook status says it all. Right? I got no problem saying. I said at 6 o'clock you should just skip dinner and go straight to dessert.
Yeah, there you go.
And a few people appreciated that comment.
I know, like, oh, okay. Yay! Forget dinner. It's hilarious.
It's terrible, just terrible. But yeah, so I mean, obviously you've done a bunch of cosplay stuff too. I know you've done Sailor Moon. I think you've done, you know, Miss Incredible. I want to say, I think it's Miss Incredible. Is it? And who you're doing right now, right? Hopefully.
Yeah, Elastigirl. Yeah, I'm being Elastigirl. Got my gloves and everything. I had to do the gloves too. I was like, oh.
And then you've done a few others too. And then so what is that like too? Because obviously they tend to do well on Instagram.
It's actually really fun. A lot of everybody really likes the different dress up and the cosplay stuff. Even when I went to MegaCon was a lot of fun. I went with Life of Balls with Kyle Balls. And like I had people stopping, they were taking pictures of us. I was Sailor Moon then. My Sailor Moon outfit was very hoochie. I was actually gonna be Sailor Moon, but I couldn't find the other piece. So That's why I said I'll be an incredible, because this outfit's hot too. So, but it's a lot of fun. And even on Twitch when you're playing video games, that's fun. Like I'll dress up as a vampire. When the new movie for Dragon Ball was coming out, I actually went dressed up as Vegeta, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, you're Vegeta!" I was like, yeah, it was just like, even when Michael Myers' movie came out, I took his mask. My husband's here, guys. He's in the building. Here we are. So, I mean, it's a lot of fun. And then because I play a villain with wrestling anyways, of course, I also recently did a costume that's my own character. So she's the villain anime goddess Bella Blaze. So, and she's a bad guy, but she leads you to doom, and she likes to be your nightmare instead. So it's like you don't get sweet dreams with her. She leads you to doom, but you'll like it in her doom. So it's misery, but it's fun misery. So she tortures you, but you kind of love being in that hole with her, and just let her consume everything out of you and take the soul from you, and you just become her little minion. I mean, who doesn't want me to be their nightmare? Like, F a sweet dream, I'm the nightmare. They're like, well, it'll be a sweet nightmare. My fans love it though.
I'm just gonna plead the fifth.
Yeah. They love it. They're like, oh my God, how could you not? I'll bow to you. I know, guys, just bow down and stop resisting, because it's going to get worse if you resist me. Just bow. It's okay.
It's okay. Me and Nick Cannon are going to plead the fifth together on this one.
Yes. See, my cat even probably is going to plead the fifth. He's running somewhere. He's like, yeah, she's on some BS. I ain't got time for this. This lady sings to me. I don't want to deal with her right now. So he's probably hiding somewhere.
So you mentioned your gaming channel too, and I think you're Twitch, right?
Yeah, on Twitch. Yeah, I'm actually a Twitch affiliate.
Because yeah, and you do a lot of stuff there too, and obviously that's getting bigger than anything else.
Yes, I need to get on there more. That's what everybody's like, because I have a guy that's trying to set me up to do a feature cosplay for some of the cons around here. So I might even have that. And he was like, you would do good at that. Let's sit down and talk and get some pictures done and things like that. So yeah, I have that coming up eventually soon too, but we'll see. I'm like, I have a lot of tasks to do. A lot of tasks. How do I entertain all these people?
No, it's crazy. I mean, I'm busy too, so I get it.
Yeah.
I'm very busy. I got a lot of stuff going on, but I'm not as busy as you apparently.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you are. I try to take breathers when I can, but sometimes it's hard, because if I don't get it done, and then content building is a lot of work. So you have to, and a lot of times you'll notice us women, and I'm so glad it's not just me, because I hear all of us say it, like, oh my God, okay, I got to put on my makeup at least once or twice this week so I can do some content and then not have to wear it for the rest of the week.
It's interesting. I was speaking to somebody who used to run a wrestling promotion in Jersey, and he was explaining WWE with the women wrestlers. And it's like, you got to put on makeup, and you got to go to catering, and then it just becomes a whole production, and you got to look good, and then it just becomes a massive pain in the ass. It is what it amounts to in the simplest format. But also, I mean, there's advantages too for women. I could tell you.
Yeah, because we gotta look cute to some extent, but then we're getting beat up looking cute. So
it's hard to be a male cosplayer right now in cons. It is hard.
Oh.
It's unfortunate, where there's plenty of talented male cosplayers, and they do not get the same, I guess, appreciation or respect that female cosplayers get. It's an issue. And then also, I've been in circumstances where, I'm like, I don't get attention, and I'm like, I would like to interview you, and I'm disregarded because somebody wants to speak to a pretty girl, and I'm like, that's great. But you're not buying anything, and I'm buying $500 worth of comics, and I'm like, okay, this is a little weird. Like, spending real money, and you're treating me really shitty. So it's a complicated entity, but
it does. That's for everything, though. Even sometimes with wrestling, sometimes with gaming. Like, because sex sells. So a lot of times females get acknowledged a little bit, which I'm not saying it's fair.
No,
we get acknowledged.
I punish people for that. If you don't acknowledge me and I'm spending real money, you better understand that that negotiation is going to go south real quick.
Right.
When I'm spending $1,000 on a comic book and you're not giving me the time of day, and a cute female is not spending a penny, that deal just went down from $1,000 to $900 that quickly. And it's not going to move back up so quickly. And that's the thing too, is that when there's real money on the table, a lot of people don't think. That's all I'm saying.
They don't. They really don't.
People think with down south and not up north is a good way.
Right. Yeah. It's weird. It's a lot. It is a lot.
But I agree. Content creation is hard. I agree. I'm in the process of building a class that's going to be about 22 hours. And it's not 22 hours of recording. It's more like 100 hours. And the reason that the recording is only going to be 30 hours with a few redos here and there, but you got to build the content. And I don't know how you go about it, but when I build an interview, it starts, with me writing questions, doing homework, understanding who I'm speaking to. And then I spend a lot of time before, then you record it. And then, it's out there. So once it's recorded, it's done. But even still to get there, it's 4 or 5 hours. And then I got to market it still. It's every interview that I do is anywhere from 7 to 9 hours.
It's kind of the same thing, because sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night with an idea. So I have to text myself or write it down and then try to go back to sleep. So sometimes the idea will be with me for the longest time. And I'll be like, oh, I don't feel like doing it right now. I don't feel like, but so I don't forget it. I have it written down, or I text myself in the middle of the night. And then I'll do it like that. It starts with a lot of that. A lot of times my brain does not really shut off very easily. So I could be there not being able to sleep because I have an idea, and it's like, okay, go ahead and write this down so you can, and I'll be rehearsing it for days. And it's just like, okay, now it's time to go ahead and do this. Just do it now. It's time to go ahead and do it now.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, I've had ideas and I said, look, I do not have the capabilities to do this right now, but it's a good idea. But right now, I don't have the finances to do it. So I had an idea for a comic book from 6 months ago, and now I'm starting to get the finances to be able to do it. But good. I have the idea written down. I have the basic concept of it, but I don't have the finances. But now I'm starting to. So sometimes in life, you might say, look, I got no time to go and start something brand new here because my deck is full stacked.
Right.
But it's a good idea. But maybe once this gig ends, I'm going to have an extra 4 hours a week and I could do it then.
Right. And yeah, definitely.
It's complicated sometimes, but I digress. Content creation. I would ask you about what you're watching in anime, or you could give your opinion on WWE, because both of those topics could be fun or controversial.
Say that one more time.
I'll let you choose what you want to talk about. What are you watching in anime right now? Because I think you're a big anime fan. I know you have that awesome picture on Twitter of you wearing the Akatsuki shirt, which I think is funny. And
which shirt?
The Akatsuki from Naruto. It's like the red cloud.
Yeah. I love that one. Yeah, I'm not really, my daughter is more into Naruto. She likes Sasuke right now. I'm watching My Hero Academia. I started watching it with a friend, and I want to see how, I think his Baku, I think his name is, that's my favorite one because he's a bad guy. All Might is okay, but he looks like a crackhead when he turns regular. But then I forget the main, I think it's Midori, the one with the green hair. It's just, he has so much heart. He's just a crybaby. I was like, he's a crybaby, but I'm still trying to get into that one. I actually like it. There's a lot going on. My favorite one, I definitely like Dragon Ball. I want to watch the Cell series again. I just haven't got a chance to. So I want to get through My Hero Academia first. And I also like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure because Dio is hot. So I like the rich guys in the anime. So Vegeta, of course, is my favorite with Dragon Ball. But right now I'm trying to get more into My Hero Academia. And then after that, I'm going to let the kids pick which one we're going to watch next after I get into that. They were happy I wanted to watch that one. So they were like, oh, let's do that. But I do need to go back to the Cell series because I want to look a little bit more into that after watching the Dragon Ball superhero movie.
That was a good
with
one. That was
Gohan and
good.
things of that. I want to go a bit deeper into that and see what's going on, because they're saying Gohan is supposed to be the ultimate one with tons of powers because he's going to be the one defending Earth where they're at, and then Vegeta and Goku are going to be off wherever else defending. So he's got to be the main one around there. So that movie was so good. So I want to kind of see where Goku's going with this, because that last power was freaking phenomenal, and I want to know more. Even though he's not my favorite, but he was badass.
That movie was great, and all I can say is that Piccolo was extremely irresponsible in that movie. Extremely.
But Bulma, her one asking the dragon Shinra, asking for booty and youth. He was like, "Why did you wish for that?" She was wishing for some crazy crap. Like, I was like, "Oh, she's my type of girl right there." Hey, the youth, can I have it, please? With the Dragon Balls, trying to get Vegeta and freaking Goku back, and they didn't ask her that. I was mad that they didn't show my man enough. But I was like, it's not about them, so I'll live. It's all good.
Do you want to hear the craziest thing about that movie? Do you know what company owns the distribution rights for the American theaters on that movie?
Who?
Disney.
Are you serious? No, I didn't know Disney did.
Here's why. Back in the day, Disney bought 20th Century Fox.
Okay.
And when they bought 20th Century Fox, they did a Dragon Ball Evolution movie with live people. And in that movie's rights was American distribution for movies for Dragon Ball Z in theaters.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
So that means that movie should be on the Disney Plus channel then, eventually.
So I don't know if it's on the Disney Plus channel. I don't know if they have that right, but they have the right, and they collected all the money, essentially. Disney collected all the money that it brought in for that theater in America.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. I didn't know that.
And here's the killer part. Technically, Disney can produce a Dragon Ball TV show if they wanted to. So
I just wouldn't want them to mess it up.
So they can't produce Dragon Ball. They can't do Dragon Ball Z, but they can do their own version of Dragon Ball if they wanted to. They could tell their own version of Goku, and they can make it in some weird animation style. And they have the rights to do that. It's crazy. The fact that Disney can do that is wild. It's the weirdest thing about Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball is one of those like good ones. Like, I think I love Dragon Ball, but I've already decided on my next cosplay, but I'm gonna keep it quiet because I don't want anybody to know. But wait till I pop out with her. She's hot. I can't wait.
I could think of a few. I could think of a few who's really, really hot and who's really, really like in the moment.
There's so many out there. I still want to do Ivy from Soul Calibur. Her outfit was. I love the game Soul Calibur. Ivy's outfit is like smoking.
I have a cosplay for you. You should do the cat from Bleach. You are
I'm gonna have to find that costume. That would be cute too.
It's perfect for you. It's perfect for you. The shape of you is perfect for it. Everything.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look up that costume now. I'm gonna look for it, and I'm gonna look up that one. The cat from Bleach. Yeah, I'm gonna look up that one.
She's not a cat. She transforms into a cat, and then she's a really hot.
I love cats though, so I'm cool with that. Like, I can transform into a kitty cat. I love cats. I'm a cat lady. Yeah, I'm a cat lady.
It's just terrible. You could do Lola Bunny too from Space Jam too. That would be great.
Yes, Lola Bunny.
Hey! Michael Jordan's the best basketball player of all time.
Yes, I liked that. I liked the first one. I didn't really watch. I couldn't get into the second one.
I didn't think it was bad. I just didn't think it was as good.
Right.
But I get flack for that. I'm like, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't better.
Because the whole LeBron thing, that's probably why. Because he was in it, but I didn't think it was all that. I couldn't get into it.
He wasn't bad in it. It's Michael Jordan Space Jam is like legendary. And it's like, you're doing something that was well done, but you lose like the nostalgia factor. You lose the new factor. You lose something that was original. Like Space Jam
Right.
did not feel as original as Space Jam 1. Essentially, but I get flack for it because people are like, "Oh, well, you don't like LeBron." I'm like, LeBron's a good player, but he's no Michael Jordan. And then
You're right. I agree. I agree.
that's all I'm gonna say. And then now
Right.
I just lost half my audience. So great. My YouTube channel just went right down to the rankings. Right down.
No.
Watch this. I'm gonna get like a message from somebody in like an hour. Be like, "You don't like LeBron? Oh, it's gonna be great."
Oh God, he likes LeBron. He just doesn't feel like he's on Michael Jordan's level. That's it.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'll take Michael Jordan any day of the week over LeBron.
Anybody, most people with common sense would like. He was the great. He earned that for a reason. But that isn't. We're not cutting slack to LeBron. LeBron's still good.
Unless Michael Jordan gives me an Acura, and if that's the case, you run like hell.
Right.
And that's a dark joke for you, everybody. That's a really bad dark joke. If you don't know the history of Michael Jordan, that's a bad joke. Anyway, I digress. I'm gonna get you and me both canceled.
Yeah, that's not good. Don't get us haters now.
I do that plenty without any help from anybody. Which is ironic because I'm cancel proof. So there you go. It's super weird. But anyway, I do want to give you a chance. Actually, I'm curious your opinion on WWE because what's going on with them is super interesting. And I'm wondering if you have an opinion on that too. Because
about who?
WWE and everything that's going on.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot going on with WWE. I know Vince might come back. I know, but still, Triple H is still going to be the creative designer, like the creative or the talent person. So yeah, I don't know. They're just like all over the place right now.
How do you feel about them trying to sell themselves?
I don't really like that. I think they should just stay where they're at, but like you just never know. There's just so much going on with that. It's just like, guys, come on, guys. Let's just stay where you're at. Stop trying to sell it. Like, quit. It's a lot.
Fair enough. I'm a shareholder, so I have a different opinion. But I like them as a stock. I really don't want a forced sale of my stock because I like them.
No, I wouldn't want that either.
And it's been very good to me, and it just creates a bigger investment problem for me in the long run.
Right.
I have to find a bunch of good companies again, which is a pain in the ass to do. I'll have a good exit. It's just it'll be a pain in the ass because it's like I got to do homework, and I like to find good companies and hold them forever.
Right.
And then yeah. So, but I digress. But enough about that. I'm not going to press you too hard on that. I do want to give you a chance to self-promote yourself. I know you have. I don't know if you have a fight at the next LFC event.
Yeah, actually, I will be at LFC 37, Back to the Mansion, February 14th in Vegas. My rematch with Sheena Bathory is that fight. So yeah, the one that everybody was talking about. We'll be doing our rematch February 14th in Vegas. LFC 37, here we come.
It's going to be an interesting card. It's going to be an interesting card.
Yes, it's going to be fun. I can't wait.
I think Bella's on that card. The other Bella. I think the other Bella also is on that card.
I don't know who's all going. I know I just saw Bella Inc. I saw a couple people, but yeah, we're all still trying to figure out who's gonna be there. Like I don't know. Eventually they're gonna put it up to show us who all we're going against. I guess he's still waiting on confirmations and everything.
I know Autumn Ivy is gonna be there, and she's interesting. And I know that I think she's making her debut, and she was cosplay, and she's done a lot of stuff in voice acting and video game work. And so I know that she's like the latest signee onto LFC. So that's
okay. What's her name?
Autumn Ivy.
Oh yeah, I have no clue. I probably saw the pictures, but I don't. Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
it's weird.
I'll meet her.
I know all these people from all these other people. And
right. That's usually how I end up meeting them is once we get there and then we all meet each other that way or like, yeah,
I met all of these people just by asking people on the internet for interviews. So like
okay.
5% of the people that I know, I have not met in person. and I have spoken to them through Facebook or telephone or through one of these
Okay.
or a Zoom conference. It's the weirdest thing. And I'm on the East Coast, so I have no intention at the moment flying to Vegas or Arizona, just because it's a trip for me, to be honest.
Right.
I mean, if I was in California, I'd be flying to every LFC event in Vegas because it's not that far, or I'd be driving. From
Right.
driving to Vegas is not that bad.
Yeah,
But
it's far from where we are. I'm in Florida, so it's like 4 or 5 hours for me.
exactly. So it limits my ability exactly to go places. And let's be realistic. I just started a new job, so I don't have time off anyway. So it's an easy
Right.
decision. It's an easy decision, but obviously I'm not going to cut into your promo time. So obviously I know you have something, that rematch with Sheena is happening at LFC 37. I think, what is that, the 14th, I want to say?
Yeah, the 14th.
So that'll be fun. That'll be fun to watch. I think, what is it, like $10 a month, LFC?
Oh, I'm not sure. Usually to watch it, I think it's $19.99.
It might be that.
Usually the new matches are $19.99, I think, but I'm not sure because we got a lot of new stuff going on. So I don't know how they're doing that right now.
I don't know if it's a membership. I don't know if it's a fight.
There's a membership. I think the membership is, I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. I thought the membership was $20, but I could be wrong. But yeah, the membership, they can watch it there if you have a VIP membership. I think the VIP membership is actually $19.99. But yeah, and then they can watch the PPV there. And then people can request tickets if they're going to be in Vegas, because I have people coming out to Vegas, so they're going to request tickets to come and see.
So there's that. And then obviously, where can people find you on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, on OnlyFans, all that fun stuff?
Okay, on Instagram, it's Glam Barbell Bombshell is my Instagram. Twitter and Twitch are the same. It's what is it? Glam Gamer Bitch, BYTCH, because I am that bitch. I'm kidding. It's Glam Gamer Bitch with a Y. The YouTube, me and Michael cannot figure out for the life of us. I can't even remember. I think it's T Bella Madisyn, Glam Gamer Bitch, but yeah, it's on my links if you go into the other ones. So yeah. And then I forget, OnlyFans is Goddess Isabel, IZABEL. So Goddess Isabella's OnlyFans. So yeah, those are, I think that's it. If you want Snapchat, I hate Snapchat, but if you really want Snapchat, it's Bella Glam Fit. And TikTok is Bella Glam Fitness. I almost forgot TikTok, and I took my gloves off. So it was hot. It was hot. That's my social media, guys. And see me at LFC 37, LFCfights.com. Get your membership now so you can watch me fight.
Yeah, and then I'm just going to quickly promote myself, and I'm going to keep saying it. I've been saying it for almost 4 years now. If you like something, you need to support it and financially support it. So what that means is that if people have merch, if people have Buy Me a Coffee, if they have PayPal, they have an OnlyFans, and you like seeing what they produce, you need to go support it. Furthermore, let's say that you like LFC as a company. You should go buy a membership. You should go watch the pay-per-views, because I think you can do either or. You can either pay per pay-per-view or you can pay a membership. I could be mistaken, but
right, yeah, you can. That's right.
So even if you only pay for the pay-per-views and you want to go that route, you are indirectly supporting every competitor on that card, because you're watching it, and that money does trickle down or trickle into the company, which then means that money goes to the next event. And obviously, I don't need to explain the economic trail there, but that's one way how to do it, is supporting it. Watching things legally is a big deal. So if you should do that, or you shouldn't watch it, you shouldn't pirate something. And then, obviously, if you want to support independent wrestlers or fighters, or, your favorite performer in any regard, you should be doing that too, because it does go a long way. And $5 goes a long way, because if a bunch of people, if 100 people give somebody $5 a month, it's a lot of money, and it adds up. A little bit of money from a lot of people can go a long way. So I really do recommend, and the same rules apply to me. I am independent media by definition. So obviously I appreciate when people buy me a coffee. when people actually buy my t-shirt, when people buy my merch, it means something to me. I have a t-shirt. It's on Redbubble. It's a cool shirt. If somebody would like to buy it, you are more than welcome to buy it. It's a Gundam anime t-shirt that I built. But furthermore, following me on social media means just the same as giving me money. So following me on Twitter, following me on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever else, YouTube, subscribing on YouTube, and that stuff's free. It actually means something. Watching my interviews, sharing out my interviews, that all means something, because that is just as important as money. And so I recommend that obviously people follow people on social media and share things out, because it does make a huge difference in every which way. So obviously that's everything I have to promote. And on that note, I'm going to give you the final word.
That's good.
Okay, that's a wrap, everybody.